Hello and welcome to Radar, the podcast that lets you into Safran's world. Our teams are fueled by passion, and in this special series, you'll be able to meet some of our colleagues and find out how their enthusiasm drives their engagement, both in their roles at Safran and in the way they show up in their everyday lives. Today, we're meeting Gabriel Morales, General Director for Safran, whose passion for leadership shines from the plant he manages in Chihuahua, Mexico, to the fields where he leads the football team. Let's meet Gabriel. Welcome to Radar, Gabriel.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Gabriel, your leadership story began when you were a child, and it took a pretty important turn in a sandwich shop in Mexico, your home country. I'd love for you to introduce us to the 17-year-old leader you were and what you learned from that first experience.
Yeah, I think you summarized it very well. I think it started as a child. First, when I was a child, I think that leadership in myself started with the sports. I started to play sports since I was a little kid. And at that time, you start to do it in a natural way. You start to lead the teammates inside of the field. And I think that start to be a journey for you. Then you become a worker. So I start to work in this factory, as you said, a sandwich store. Tortas Piolín is the name. So, and I start to have responsibilities. That is more serious part in the leadership journey. And at that time was very important turn for me because the owner of that shop saw something in me and he put me in charge of the store, having 17 years old only. So I think that's the first time, because when you start becoming a leader, you have the role first, but then you have the hierarchical position. And then that was the first hierarchical position that I have, that was in charge of a store with a lot of people. I remember was like a 9 to 12 people. They were older than me, all of them. And I was the guy in charge of make their restaurant rolling. So I think that was very important in my leadership journey, because until that time, was only like a role that you play as a leader in the sports, also with your family, your brothers. But that was first assignment as a hierarchical position that help you to develop. Don't make you become a leader. That's very important. Help you to develop that role that you will be improving in the following years.
I like how you're sharing that leadership is both professional and personal. And you mentioned this. Your leadership style was very much shaped by inspiring leaders you met along the way. Could you tell us about one of them who made a particularly strong impression on you? And what strength or quality did they display that you believe is essential in any leader?
I think the first role model that I have in my life was my family, mainly my mother, tough. And I say my mother because my father as well, but my fathers get divorced when I was a little boy. So my mother take that role as a very important person for me in terms of leadership. Of course, my bigger sisters as well. But the first role models that I have was in my family. Then you start to shape yourself with the little pieces that you get from the people you love the most. This is your family. Then you start to grow and go outside of that circle. Like I said, you go and with friends and you take little pieces of that as well. Then I get the first job that I said, that I already talked about that one, and I start to get role models of outside your primary circle. And then you start to shape your leadership style. Get something from your family, get something for the people that you learn outside your circle, but also the ones that you already have. Since you have your character, you have your way to do things. So you start to shape your leadership base and a lot of pieces for different people that you meet in life, and you have the lucky to learn from them. Because the people that said that you're born being a leader, I don't believe in that. I think you're born with a character, you're born with a style, but then you need to learn. You need to shape your leadership.
And how have you evolved as a leader over the years?
I think I like a lot Jack Welch sentence that is, before you are a leader, it's all about your growing yourself, and after you become a leader, it's about growing others. So I think I take that sentence more in the aspect of you always are evolving. And the most important part in my evolution as a leader is that at the beginning was ambition, only for me. You think only about you at the beginning. because you don't have the maturity to see outside because you are very young. You are a kid first, then you are a teenager, then you start to be a young man. But then you start to see that the people around you is very important for your growth. And I think the maturity in my leadership is to learn that. I start to learn from other people, to take them in account to everything, for everything. And I think that start to improve your leadership because you start to earn it by the recognition of others. They start to following you because they thought that you are a good leader for them. That will take them to the place they all want to be.
You have the most disciplined football team in Chihuahua now.
Yeah, like I said, when I was a child, I started in sports. I was a player. I am a player, but then when I start to work here in Safran, I take I'm in charge of the football team of Chihuahua, and as a funny thing, because I am the boss in the job, but also I have the opportunity to be the leader in the football. So the people is very disciplined with me. So taking into account that, so everybody is early to training, everybody is early to games. And I think that helps us a lot to be now. We are the state champions, and I think that helps us a lot in that regards. The discipline first, and then we will start from there.
And I know, Gabriel, that transparency is very important to you. So what's the link between leadership and transparency, and how has being transparent helped you tackle complex leadership situations?
I think transparency is very important. Why? Because as you start to grow as a leader, and you deal with people, and you have the hierarchical positions and also the lead role, you need to start give directions or give advice or take decisions as a leader. That's as a reality. So some of these decisions are tough, and sometimes what I learned in my journey is that sometimes we try to make the things soft for the people in order that the leader sometimes thinks that they don't need to tell the truth to the people, or try to not be as clear as possible, because the people will not take this with maturity, or maybe the people is not ready to face these decisions. But for me is more the communication of the leader. The communication of the leader need to improve, need to be clear, needs to be realistic. And if you take all these elements and you give a clear communication to your teammates, they will understand. They will understand if you need to make a tough decision. They will understand if you need to do a very good recognition to someone and somebody. I think the people understand. So what I said always to my teammates here in Safran is that treat everybody as an adult, and treat everybody as a very smart people, because they are. Don't try to mitigate, or to try to put the things in a pretty way, because they will not understand. No, the people understand. The people have the maturity to understand things, but you need to improve your skills of communication. It's more easy for the leader to say that the people cannot understand, that for them to improve the communication skills. No, so I think us as a leaders, we need to improve our communication skills in order to be better leaders.
Yeah. And so what advice do you give young leaders on your team?
My advice first is to first understand yourself. Try to respect yourself, love yourself, and improve yourself. Don't think that you are the better. As soon the time pass, you are young, and the ambition is very high on you because you are young. You want to grow, you want to move, you want to do things. But then you need to start to realize with time that the human interaction is very, very important, all over the place, with your family, with your teammates, with your colleagues. The human interactions are very important, and that maturity will help you to mitigate that. Don't think that you don't become ambitious or you decrease your ambition. No, is that you start to see everything. So as a young, you go in the road, and sometimes you don't see the people you are letting behind. You need to know that this world is giving turns, and we don't know where we are going to be tomorrow. And like I said, if you have a great young leader in your teammate, help him to evolve, to be better, because maybe in the future he will be your boss. and he will remember that you be a teacher for him, and you be a great leader for him.
Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, Gabriel.
Thank you. No problem.
Now over to you. What passion drives you? Thank you for listening, and we look forward to sharing the next Radar episode with you.